episode of Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. I hope you're doing all well. I hope you're doing good. Could enjoy last night. Today we will continue the ASMR part of this Let's Play by opening with a tale, with a tale of Norse mythology. I will continue to read from that book that I own and will chronologically go through the tales that are written there. If you just want to see the Let's Play, please feel free to skip that part. Later, when I upload the video on YouTube, please make sure to wear headphones if you want to enjoy ASMR the fullest. So without further ado, let's continue the tales of Norse mythology. The following tale that I want to present you today is not a long one, just relatively short compared to yesterday's opening tale about the creation of the cosmos and the 9 worlds in it. It is about the sun, the moon, both of them inspired people for centuries. Both of them are seen as powers that shape our very existence, and they both, some or another way, have a great impact or influence how we are living on this planet. So it is only natural to think that these two objects in the sky, heavenly objects, are playing a great role in the myths of any culture. There are cultures that even, for example, venerate the sun as the highest of all gods. It is a life-spending force, but also one that could take lives. And it is seen in many cultures opposite to the moon because of the night and day cycle. And today's tale will elaborate on that. So let's start. As the cosmos was created and all was done, the branch branches and the roots of Yggdrasil, the world tree, were holding the 9 worlds. But darkness governs all, and governed all. So Odin created the moon, which emanated in a silver light, and after that he created and formed the sun out of sparks that rose up from Muspelheim, the fiery world. Odin took the golden light of and placed it up in a car-like thing, up in a wagon. And he let them be drawn by 2 horses named Arvak and Alsvit. Odin thus set into place sun and moon, the sky, and each day both of them circulated around the earth and shone down on it. Later, a man named Mundilfari named his daughter after the sun, and his son after the moon. So his daughter, the girl, was named Sol, and the boy Mani. Odin was not pleased by that at all. He raged over Mundilfari's attitude, over how he could dare to name his children after the heavenly objects he himself had created. And so he declared that Sol should pull and draw the wagon over the sky, and Mani was bestowed the task of drawing or pulling the car that was holding the moon. So they both had since then each day the task of pulling the sun and the moon in circles around Earth. But Mani, the boy, soon was a little bit fed up of that. He was it was bearing on him doing that task of carrying, pulling the moon over the sky. So he did the following. He was seeking help by his own children, his two children, and they both, in that moment, were carrying water buckets from a well on a wooden stick. So, and that is why you could today see on the surface of the moon both of them. So it's called. So the sun and the moon both move fast. They don't stop ever. They in a constant movement, describing that cycle of day and night. And the reason for that is that two hungry wolves hunted them. Skull is hunting, following the sun, and Hati the moon. And someday, that is when the world ends, in Ragnarök, the two wolves will catch on the moon the sun, and Odin's light will be gone forever. So that was today's tale. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want, clip it. I will start the game now and will elaborate a little bit on this story's content, the meaning of it while playing. Okay, so let's continue with the game. And let's talk a little bit about the story, the tale that I read just now. So, besides the fact that the creation of sun and moon was told in that story, and how both of them was created, and the reason behind why they are in a constant movement and why day follows after the nights, and I mean vice versa. Besides that, at the end, you heard it, the two wolves that are actually chases the sun and the moon, Skull and Hati, will eventually, at the end of the world, catch both of them, and they will eat them. So that is the end of sun and moon. That is when Ragnarök occurs, and it is literally the world's end, the end of the cosmos, and the end of the gods too. They all will die. So for the Vikings it was very clear from the beginning, from the start, that there is not just an origin to everything, but also an end. And oh hey, Darth HD. They all of their tales, not all of them of course, but many tales play with that, or made remarks to that end of the world, and they are aware of it, and they basically, if that is the case, if it happens, also the people that are all dead already and are in, for example, Niflheim or in Valhalla, they have to fight once more, one last time, until the destiny is fulfilled and the circle is closed, and all of the cosmos is gone. And after that, it says it will be a new beginning, a new dawn of mankind. There are tales that speak of two human beings that will come after that, and the two of them will create a new cosmos or a new world. It's very interesting, I think.
Overcome Valravan's final illusion to face him in his keep. I know you can do it, Senua. You have the sight.
We both see the darkness. We can fight it together.
And one thing that I didn't know, there is not only Valhalla, there is another place in 2. There's another place besides that. Beside Valhalla and Niflheim, there's a third place. That place is the home of Freya, another goddess, and she is one of that magicians. Maybe you know her out of God of War 3. Was it not? It was not the third one, the newest one, the new interpretation of it. We will come to that story, and it is another place, and it is not well known. Let's see. Basically the warriors that fought bravely and died in battle are taken away by the Valkyrs and brought to Valhalla. Not all of them, but the only chosen ones. And there they basically, I'm lacking the words in English, sorry, they are partying day and night. They have enough food, they have enough to drink, they don't have to worry about anything, they just enjoying themselves, enjoying their lives. And there's a similar place, the home of Freya, where other people that died are being taken? No, not taken, being brought. But I don't know the criteria for it. Why, what you have to do or what not to get there. Okay, we somehow have to solve that riddle and I'm not good at it. So maybe we have to go up there somehow. Yeah, that makes sense. It has to do something with that portal-like thing over there.
Speak to me, Druth. Tell me a story.
Senua, listen. I will tell you the tale of a man called Findan. The Northmen captured Findan's sister, and his father sent him to pay for her release. But they took his gold, put him in chains, and held him for a day and a night without food or water. Then they released him. I don't know why. Upon his return, his father's enemies in Erin set fire to his home. His father burnt to death, and his brother was killed. But he escaped with sorrow in his heart. His father's enemies offered redress for his loss and invited him to a feast that was at a hall near the sea. But when he went there, they betrayed him to the Northmen, who enslaved him and took him to hell. 6 years later, his slave masters landed on the shores of Orkney, burning all before them. And into that fire, Findan made his escape. What was Findan burnt away that day. But from the flames, a new man stepped forward, and Druth was born. Druth. The man that I am now. And though Findan never set eyes on his dear sister again, I, Druth, have found you, Senua.
I wish you could have seen my home before these dark times.
Okay, I didn't want to speak over it. I can't see a difference when walking through that portal. Maybe it's something that you notice only if you pass it and go down again. Let's see. So there's an actual, a really good enemy adaptation of the Viking area. that is called Vinland Saga. It is a series that is now on Netflix. And it is made by a famous Japanese animator, or yeah, I mean, multiple people are on that project, but the guy that basically is in charge of the story, he takes scenarios or settings very seriously, so it's not like trying to portray cliches. He there's many things in that story that you could attribute as being historic. So, in a sense, in many senses. Yeah, and the story revolves around the boy that is drawn into something bigger. I don't want to spoil anything. And it is interesting that this person actually existed as a historic person. I mean, he actually lived. He actually existed, and of course, the story in the animation is loosely based on the historic facts, but because we know that such a person existed and we have information about him, and not less, I think he was able to spin story around him. It's super fun to watch. I mean, the manga started as a shonen manga, which is for a younger audience, basically for children, but it evolved very fast into a seinen manga that is for young adults or adults. Oh no, we can go up. The drawings, they considerably improved, and they, in the first chapters, it was like like a child's comic book, right? So, but soon it got better and better. It improved, and it got more realistic, more not photorealistic, but you know what I mean. And the depictions of characters or the environment got more realistic. It is I warn you, it is it is brutal. It is a story, or the story itself is brutal, or not it is a dark story, I would say, and the depictions are explicit. There are violence depicted explicitly, in terms that the guy or the guys or girls, I don't know, that draw the manga or did the animations, they are showing scenes where living beings will be harmed, or are harmed in bad ways. So, and maybe if that is nothing for you, then I don't recommend it, but Wait a minute. Did I just... I can't talk and play at the same time. I have to practice that. Ah, I see. Okay, okay, okay. Hopefully that will do the trick. And I lost... Oh, come on, Senua. I'm still completely new to that thing called streaming. Yeah. Oh shit, I think that was not the right decision. Yeah, for me it's I don't know. I think that game goes well with ASMR and because of the whispering voices. And I got that book about Norse mythology only I don't know 2 weeks ago or something like that. So I thought to myself it would be I mean, one thing could add to the other, and yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. Okay, how do we get there? Because there must be a reason why, maybe through that one. I will try. Oh no. Okay. But I can't. Ah, no. Sorry. Oh, I have to concentrate. I tried to. Yeah, so, and basically, there were so many situations where the answer was literally in front of her face, but she couldn't see it. And I guess that is one of that situations. If you're playing and talking at the same time, you're doing two things at the same time. It's, yeah, there are people that are good at it, but I'm not one of them.
Broken. The gate is open. Open. This darkness. I know it from the wilds. It's coming back for me. I'm still here. Are you too? Where are we? I remember. It didn't end well in the wilds. It never does. You think you can overcome the darkness, make sense of it, and once relief settles in, it strikes out of nowhere, throwing you helplessly back into the maelstrom, drowning the mind in fear, deeper, deeper, dragging you down so far into the void that maybe this time there is no coming back. But there, in the darkness,
Senua,
and she remembered what he told her.
hear me. Reach out to me. Senua, take my iron mirror. Look into it, for it is a window into the underworld. Within, you will see the face of the darkness that you fear. And if you focus, like I have taught you to, you will also see that as much as the darkness has you trapped within its veil, it too is trapped within yours. Focus. Focus! Focus!
I see you! I see you now! You led me to the wilds! You trapped me there!
Oh boy. What the fuck? Shit, 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 shit.
It's not over. It's not over.
Oof. Frick, I did.
She's hurt. She's injured. She won't make it. He's gone! Yes, yes, Senua.
Okay, sorry, I can't. Oof. I have to focus.
Quickly get up! They're coming! She's hurt. She won't make it. He's there.
Bruh. I can't do anything. I can't do nothing. It's yeah. I'm sucking in combat. At combat.
This far she needs to.
I have to focus in the game. Sometimes.
Finish this. End it now. Behind you.
Don't ask me how she is doing that combos. I don't do that.
They surrounded her. She's not strong enough. He's gone. Where's he gone?
But when I press the button E,
Watch out!
like now E for focus, he will freeze for a little bit, and I can damage him. But I have no clue how.
She's nearly there.
I have no clue how to parry. I don't know. Sometimes it happens. It just happens.
It's nearly over. Finish it.
Like now, I don't have.
End it.
I have no clue how that.
The mirror. Focus is great. It's coming back. I never beat you in the wilds, did I? It was an illusion. But not this time!
The Mark of Valravan, one of the keys to the gate to Helheim. Hold it in your mind's eye.
With every battle, the darkness grows stronger. Every victory bringing her closer to defeat. Unfair, isn't it? In those dark winter nights in the wilds, there were times when she considered letting go. If it weren't for Druth, a chance encounter in the wilds, she would not have heard his stories of the Northmen. And she would not have this chance to find Dillion's soul.
I'm coming. I still hear you.
Okay, there we are. And I think the first thing we should do is adjusting the graphics settings. Because that game consumes much resource. Too much of my PC, I guess. And I hope it will help. So the darkness is what is maybe the disease that is growing in her, or that the insanity, the madness. She fights, she tries to fight back. I think, yeah, that is what is Rever 2 if there is if the darkness is mentioned, and you see it on her right arm. Every time we die, the darkness literally grows and will spread out until it finally reaches our, I don't know, and either heart or head, I don't remember, sorry. So, and that is also the end of the game. Then all progress will be lost and we have to start all over again. So we have to be very cautious of not dying too often. But she's already, yeah, you could say lost. There is no cure for that disease, or for that, for her state of mind. I'm lacking the medical terms. So yeah. And I think the stories she heard from Druth, her friend, her mentor, they are their Senua's last hope. She desperately clings to that, and that is the reason why she is trying to get to trying to reach Niflheim and bargain with the goddess of death, with Hela or Hell, in order to yeah, resurrect or bring back Dillion, her beloved man or friend. So And I think part of what she is doing is just something that is in her head. So I think we have to go this way. Nope. So she I don't think in this game, I don't know yet, I can't remember properly, I don't think in this game a place like hell really exists. It is maybe it is just a place in that world, but not hell, actually Niflheim. But for Senua, it doesn't. We came from here. I think we came from here, right? So it makes no difference if it's if it's real for her. If she thinks it's real, that is in the end all that matters. I think we are all already in this state in the game, or Senua is in a state where she is not able to differentiate between reality and I don't know, fantasy, or just imagination, things that she in her mind that she can that she thinks it's real, but they are actually just a product of her madness, of her insanity. Oh, I think okay, now I get it. So the place is in a way cleansed. Now it's broad daylight, and that bad weather, or the storm, is gone. And I think that area is cleared, so naturally, yeah, we have to go back, but to the other gate. There are practically two bosses that we have to fight, 2 areas that we have to clear in order to get the key or the means of entering Niflheim, and that was one of them. But I'm not quite sure how to go back to the point where we could choose our path between that or Raven and I already forgot the other one that we have to fight. Maybe because we came from here, that is the fastest way. I'm so sorry, that push to talk button. Oh no, that is wrong. A new day dawning, so in order to Pro. I have to adjust the mapping of the buttons.
When she was younger, she would lay in the grass and stare at the clouds. And there she saw them. Elusive, shifting faces. After a while, she could see the faces everywhere. In the trees, the mountains, caves.
Yeah, it's quite a tragic story of Senua. But you know, she is... The fact that she is aware that something with her is not normal or not right, not the way it maybe was in the beginning. Something changed and it is and it affects her in a bad way. She is aware of that and she tries to desperately fight against it. And the fact that she lost her, the only person that she really loved, is her motivation to go out and make a difference and change that. And now the game, before I cross that gate, I just wanted to say maybe I read 2 or 3 tales before we start the Let's Play next time. Maybe not tomorrow, I don't know, I'm not sure yet. Because I have to sleep early tomorrow. But yeah, because the book is not... There are more tales than we may have episodes before we end the game. And I don't want to do that unrelated to, I mean, for example, as ASMR videos on my main channel, so if possible I would rather integrate that into the streams.
I wonder, can you see the faces too? They're there, if you look for them.
Mother?
Senua, you have the sight. Just like I do. Once you can see into the underworld and all the souls within it will see you. Don't be afraid when they speak to you. I will always be here to guide you.
Did you see her? That was her mother, Galina. She was a priestess, a healer. She taught Senua to see the weave that binds the world together. And it was beautiful. It was a time before the darkness. But when it did come, it first came for her mother. Senua still sees her face from time to time, hidden in the world. Like she's still watching over her. She misses her so much.
I really like the way the game is building up to that scene we saw right now, by first referring to things. Oh God, how do I put it in English? Forms and gestalts and faces, or I don't know, persons, objects. Senua, as when she was a kid, sees and common things like trees and I don't know, the sky and clouds and so, and you could totally relate to that. I mean, who of us hasn't hasn't looked into the sky, watching clouds and seeing things they form. I mean, some clouds are looking like, I don't know, like objects, like animals, like faces, or I mean, yeah. And then you suddenly see that face in that rock formation. It's really cool. So, but I'm not sure what caused the death of the Senua's mother and why Senua herself is threatened by that. I'm no expert, I don't know. Maybe there is a disease, or that in the end kill you. I mean, it is not, I don't know. Or maybe her mother took her own life, or died because of a tragic accident. We don't know yet. The frick?
There are too many of them. Find a position. Go.
Okay, with pressing E for focus, we can activate some kind of
Says more. Be ready. It can defend itself. Go.
some kind of slow-mo.
She will die. Finished.
So weak, she's so weak. I can see you're weak.
Oh shoot.
She's injured, but she can still do it. The gate.
Open the gate.
She needs to go back. She can't. It won't open.
Why won't it open?
Why won't it open?
There's another challenge.
She hasn't challenged Cert.
So yeah, that kind of people existed like nowadays, and but because the people that lived in the past had no explanation for that, and so of course you easily could imagine that they came up with I mean, that's the same reason why mythology exists. People try to make sense of things, and when you can't explain something that you've heard, that you've seen, that you experienced, you try to make sense of it. Or yeah, I mean, and that is basically how the myths were created, and the people thought of stories or came up with stories for why is there something in the sky that is glowing and glowing and emanates light and is warm, and why is there a night, or why is it gun and something other appears on the sky and it is dark outside. If you don't have an explanation for that, you come up with a story or anything that would make in your reality and that what you could grasp make sense to, yeah, in order to not get maybe insane, or I don't know. It is quite interesting how different cultures came up with different explanations or approaches for that. And some of them, despite being very knowledgeable, like for example the Mayas, that are actually yeah, watched the sky and that are actually aware of the heavenly objects, like, I don't know, planets and stars and the sun, and they are described the movements of it, and it is just they are just in other ways they are in one way scientifically describing that phenomena, but in another way mix them too with philosophy, with religion, with things that we are nowadays strictly try to separate. But for them it was one thing. It is super interesting to just dive into it.
The Northmen say that in the beginning there was nothing but darkness. Bitter cold to the north, fiery hot to the south. They say the cold formed ice, which melted from the sparks from the south. The power of the darkness gave life to the dripping ice, and the first giant was born, and was named Ymir. The ice continued to drip, and the power of the void gave life to it, and it became a cow, whose milk fed the giant. That's right, a cow. But you weren't expecting that.
So yeah, that is basically in short the first or a part of the first tale that I read yesterday. And after you watched, hopefully watched that Let's Play or the stream, I highly recommend you read the first chapters of the Silmarillion by Tolkien, who also wrote Lord of the Rings. If you, yeah, I mean you know already, I guess. So he heavily draw inspiration from the Norse mythology when he wrote that book. It is the first part of that book is all about how all that mankind knows came into existence, and by describing that he heavily draws from that Norse mythology. And it's not surprisable because he was also a professor of, I think, English literature and or something, yeah, not literature. Or was it literature? Yeah, he was a professor, and I think it was English literature, but also history, or so it is only natural that maybe he was very acquainted with that stories. Okay, so we are back basically dead. Okay, we can't enter yet, so but you can see there is one symbol more prominent than the other ones, now glowing in a greenish or bluish light. That is the symbol of Raven, and the other one is still red, which could indicate that we have to unlock it. And in order to do that, we have to enter, yeah, the second area.
Surt, the fire giant has answered. He comes from a land older than mankind, and the Northmen call upon his flaming sword to raise their enemies to the ground. Find him, Senua, and spill his blood.
I don't know much about...
She found the wretched old fool on her way back from the wilds. An outcast, who was badly burnt all over. She took pity pity on him, for he was not long for this world. Like her, who spoke of his own darkness. The Northman.
I don't know much about Suthar, but he is a god of fire, or the god of fire, and he has a burning sword. He will play one of the big roles in Ragnarok. And there is a story in that book that I own about him. He will fight in Ragnarok, and I guess he will be killed too. I don't know how or who he is fighting, but he is playing a part in the ending of the world. And all I know of him is, I think he is the god that of the fiery world, Muspelheim. He is literally the god of that world, but he is also not a very very kind god, not a god that there, I mean, for example, Odin, or I don't know, Thor or Loki, there are not kind or good morally or ethnically good gods either, but for Suthar it is he is not described as a god that in any of the tales, or is a benevolent or friendly being. He is gruesome, and I don't know much about him, almost nothing. So, but it is not a god that is, that will that is I'm lacking the words right now. So sorry. Basically he's a bad dude, so he's a bad guy.
The Northmen tell this story. Before the earth was created, there was a world called Muspel. Because it was in the south, it was bright and hot, flaming, burning. Sparks that flew out from Muspel became the stars. Other sparks melted ice in the frozen world of Niflheim, creating the body of the first giant, Ymir. Muspel is one of the 9 worlds, and is now the land of the fire giants. And people from elsewhere cannot endure a journey there.
So I forgot the name of the dude that wrote down the tales. So basically he is the reason, or the main reason, we can enjoy the tales today. And he lived on Iceland. And if you know, Iceland is also called the place of fire and ice. It gets cold there, of course, because it's placed that far in the north. So it gets really cold there in wintertime, but also it is a region, or it is a place of high volcanic activity. So you have both extremes. You have fire and you have ice, and I think that is that 2 extremes played or play a very important role into for the myths of the Norsemen. They also lived in parts on Iceland where that myths in the end were scribed or written down on paper, so as actual history, as actual not history, as actual tales. And Muspelheim is, or Muspelheim as you maybe pronounce it in English, is not a place you want to be. It's like Niflheim, it's the opposite of it. You don't want to be in a place where it's so hot that you can't live. So hot that you are actually burned to death. And I think maybe that is also the reason why the god that owns that world, or that not owns, that reigns that world, is not a friendly one. It's basically the same like Niflheim, where Hell reigns, and she is also not a very kind goddess. But the fact that there are more than one world, or just the fact, I mean, yeah, in many cultures there are the world where the people live, or Earth, and then there is something other where the people go when they die, and that's it. But in the Norse mythology you have 9 worlds, so it's really cool. It's a really cool approach.
She will die. Stop. He knows what to do.
Remember the warrior trials.
Position.
He will die.
Quickly get up.
Try.
She can still do it. She finished him.
I mean, the fact that the voices, or the whispering voices, some of them that are very prominent, not encouraging me and constantly talking about how I die and may die. It's not. I mean, it's not soothing or relaxing. It stresses me out. In combat situation, the voices are not very helpful. But I think it is intended that way.
I can still smell it. The sweet, sickly stench of burning human flesh. And I still hear their cries carried in the wind. Do you hear them too, Senua?
Yes, I heard their screams, and I still hear them now.
some of the runes are actually I don't know if it's coincidence or, but some of them are resembling letters in the alphabet that are looking exactly or almost exactly the same that are used today. For example, S, but also others are completely different. I think, I don't know. I'm not knowing for sure. I think the right one is an M, but I'm not sure. I could look it up, but I don't want to break the immersion. But you don't. It's interesting. We can't enter yet. There are symbols that literally, I mean, that look completely different, but they have the same meaning. They are capital letters and yeah, not capital letters, normal letters, but completely different symbols for that. And I'm not sure 100%, but I think we don't know. We don't know if the runes that we know of are describing a complete set of symbols for the written language, or if there is still missing some out, or maybe I don't know. But it's always interesting if there is some kind of written language in a culture that you could, because there are too many cultures that don't have that, or that their language is basically lost, so you can't make sense of anything. But the things that you literally find if you dug in earth and yeah, artifacts basically. So, and you have to interpret that and make sense of that and try to reconstruct how the people back in the day lived and what. And that is really hard. If you have written language in any form, it is always helping and always, I guess for archaeologists, it's always a welcome. Oh bro, one of the riddles. So I have to do a little break here, because nature calls. I'm back right. I'm right back. Okay, I'm back again. So I don't know how long I can stream tomorrow, or if I stream at all. Not sure, but maybe we could do a session with just reading tales. Oh, there's so by looking, or maybe that one. No, I'm starting to see things too. Okay, that one is clear, so we have to find the other one. That was pure coincidence, I swear. I don't. It was just okay, but that must be right. Maybe we have to go up there. Or maybe I try to make sense of something that is not there actually. Like Senua, right? Nope, I think it was maybe like that. Hmm. Okay, I don't get it. Maybe. Follow the screams, okay. I actually can't hear the runes. Sorry. Maybe I don't pay enough attention.
Screams will help you.
Yeah, maybe I'm completely wrong with that. With that one. With that N looking or H looking symbol. Or rune.
Follow the screams.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, never mind.
The path to Helheim is sealed to the living. But you already walk amongst the dead. Look towards the gate, and you will see that it has opened.
I know for sure that the gods can walk or travel between the worlds, and it has nothing to do with Bifrost, or they just can do that. But for the living beings, I'm actually not sure. The Rainbow Bridge Bifrost is just connecting Asgard. I don't know how to pronounce it in English, with Midgard, so that are just two worlds.
I knew enough of their tongue to beg for mercy, and they took me as a slave. I wish now that they had slaughtered me like the others. I rode their storm of fire, death, and slavery to many lands. This darkness you speak of? I know it well.
And I'm still here to fight it.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Oh, I really love thunder that it goes in the background when the storm is arising. I don't know, maybe people that live in areas where storms are actually threats to their lives can't relate to that, but for me it's not something that I connect with a negative feeling on. I enjoy that sound. As long as it stays in the background, of course.
It's not over. It's not over. You can do it. Keep going.
find you, Roger.
Don't give up.
Jesus Christ. I mean, we are playing on easy. Either I'm a really bad player or that game is hard. I don't know.
When you see a fire gate of Surt, know that only a sacrifice will stoke the fires of Muspel and let the dead walk through.
Find the fire, Senua, to follow the path to Surt.
Yeah, I think what I wanted to say is I'm not sure if people could walk between the worlds. There are the Rainbow Bridge Bifrost, which connects Midgard to Asgard, where the gods are living, or not all of gods, but the ones that are well known, like Odin and Thor and Loki and Frigg, and yeah, the other ones, Mimir, of course, also. But in Ragnarök, the Bifrost will be destroyed, the connection between that two worlds. But aside from that, the other worlds are not directly connected, like by means of magical way or path. Yeah, so they are all, of course, connected by Yggdrasil, the world tree, but there is no direct connection that I think humans or man could walk on to in order to get to that worlds. The gods can do it, but not normal human beings, as far as I know. Oh no, no sacrifice, please. And the term sacrifice itself is a little bit problematic because it's one of the Christianity, yeah, one of the terminology came out from Christianity, I think. It's, something sacred is always something internal. I mean, like soul, or that's a concept that is a concept, or the word. The concept of that word is heavily inspired by Christianity, or coined by it. Oh bro, okay. Did I do something wrong, or was it just supposed to be like that? I wanted to mention it as one of few games that I played was I saw that actually depicted fire or the effects of fire on on the human body quite well. I mean, if there is fire like that, you have hell of a time breathing normally. Not because of the heat, not also because of the heat, but also because of the smoke. And yeah, and O2, the air that is consumed by the fire and missing. Sorry. I have to do something.
Hell will not give you the answers you want. But you mustn't look away from the horrors it does offer. Because you cannot overcome suffering if you refuse to look at it.
Yeah, and I think that is maybe the integral thing that Truth wanted to maybe tell or gave Senua to understand that she has to fight. Not in a literal sense, but metaphorically speaking, fight against
Where's it gone? The fire's disappeared. It was everywhere. Maybe it was a trick.
against the
It was a test. Testing us.
against her suffers, against the
Why
pain
would he do
that she feels,
He's testing her.
not only
Test.
because of her state of mind, but also because of the fact that she lost
It was everywhere.
the person she loved
Was it
most. So,
honest?
but maybe she,
Could the fire come back?
yeah, not misunderstand, but maybe she just interpreted that another way. Maybe just in parts of her state of mind, of her getting mad or insane slowly.
I can't get through. How will she get through?
She'll need to find another way.
Truth said.
Find your
So the process of
There's another way.
There's always a way.
Find your own way.
You just have to find it.
Is waiting for you. It was never going to be that easy.
He's waiting. Soot
Is waiting for you.
we can't get through here right now. So the process of making sense, or not making sense, but can't make sense of it, but of finding your own peace after something horrible like that happens is for her not just yeah, fighting back or getting to or getting yeah to terms or with her own pain that she feels inside. She actually tries to change that. Maybe because of the tales she learned from Truth. And I mean, it's not too far-fetched if you think about it. If there was a way bringing back the dead, scientifically speaking, of course there would be persons, or maybe not persons, but I don't know, companies or that would try exactly that.
The Northmen say that the defender of Muspel is called Surt, the foremost of the fire giants. His name means the Black One, because he is like something burnt. The Northmen believe that he sits at the border of Muspel with his flaming sword, and at the end of the world he will leave his post. He will travel to Asgard and Midgard, waging war against all the gods. He will be victorious, and then burn the whole world with fire.
I actually don't think so. I don't think he will end the world by his rage. He is killed too, so yeah, but we will see. I will read that story. I'm not quite sure, but I don't think he is the one that ends all and the complete cosmos, all 9 worlds. But many great tales, like the tale that describes how the world, that giant snake that that rings around Midgard, Jormungand, came into existence. All that tales that set a status quo that practically in the end described a status, or describe the things like they are back in the day for the people. For example, the sky or the sun and the moon, all that things that are set into place and are somewhat unchangeable, all that will change if Ragnarök begins, and in the process of it, all that is taken for granted, like in the morning the sun rises, it will change when Ragnarök begins, and or when it takes place. So it is basically a world flipped upside down. Everything will not make sense anymore, and yeah, is either destroyed or completely changed. So to a degree that it is not that it is not a function in the way that it was intended, or that it is in the first place. So that's cool, because you I mean, it's not cool, but it is it's interesting to you have all that stories that describe how everything was created and everything was set in place, and then you have a tale, or suddenly everything changes abruptly, or in a very short time, and all of that. And it's super cool to hear that story of Ragnarok, because if you learned about the other stories before, like you know how all, for example, how the moon and the sun were set in place and how they came into existence, and then you are of course eager to know, or you are interested in hearing how what happens to the sun and the moon if Ragnarök takes place. And there are stories and there are tales that exactly describe what happens. So that is it's really interesting.
She needs to find it. Another fire sacrifice.
Yeah, but I think that is something that we will either do tomorrow or next week, Monday. For now, yeah, let's wrap it up and that episode, and yeah, let's finish it. And yeah, let's continue the next time. So as always, thank you for tuning in, watching, and or maybe later on YouTube. I highly appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not fishing for followers, or it is not something that I have to care, because I do that as a hobby. But I'm of course very glad if people find their way here and they enjoy the games like I enjoy them, and maybe, I don't know, learn a thing or two. And of course, I'm also happy if I can engage with you guys in any kind of way. It must not be on Twitter, or it could be also on YouTube, or on not on Twitter. What I'm talking on Twitch. Could be also on Twitter or YouTube. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So yeah, as always, I want to say have a good one and enjoy your day or the rest of it. Sleep well, and yeah, let's see each other again the next time. Bye bye.